Hey guys, this is Carrie from Tone Wars. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We're really excited to hang out with you and to have you be part of our community. If you like what you see here, here's a couple ways you can support the channel. We always appreciate super chats very much, but here's a couple other ways you can support the channel and get something in return other than just content. If the super chat feature doesn't work for you, or if you're watching after the live stream, Jarrod's PayPal account link is listed below. Any donation of any amount is greatly appreciated. Since the show is sponsored in part by Motor City Guitar, we've included an affiliate link below. By clicking the link below, everybody wins. You're getting a great deal on some awesome equipment, you're supporting a store that has tons of inventory and great customer service, and you're supporting Tone Wars. And on top of all of that, if you live outside of the state of Michigan, whenever you buy anything from Motor City Guitar, you don't pay any sales tax. And last but certainly not least, you can visit our website at tonewars.com. The link is below. There you will find some awesome KEMPER profile packs with the tone and feel guitar players love. You will also find presets for the very popular HELIX, HX Effects, HX Stomp, and Pod Go. Alright, the show's about to begin. We look forward to hanging out with you, so grab your favorite drink and join us in the live chat.
Welcome to Tone Wars. And we are live with the Guitar Summit.
Yeah.
Woo! We got the nice audience here. Everybody showed up. Yeah. We spent the day having some good food and some drinks and cigars out on the deck, and yeah, it's been great, man. So glad everybody showed up. Want to thank everybody here for coming, and everybody out there and YouTube land for coming, and we really appreciate you guys being here. So a couple of special treats for you tonight. I got Steve Shaheen, who's going to blow you guys away with some amazing songs and great riffs, and after that, TJ Richardson, who's going to do the same thing. And then I'm going to just, I don't know, I'm going to play the same stuff you guys have heard 1,000 times. I'm going to do my thing. And so each guy's going to do a clinic. So you're going to play, like, what, 3 songs?
Three songs. Yep.
3 songs, and then take questions from the awesome audience that's here and you guys. So it's going to be great. So make sure you tag Tone Wars or put 3 question marks in front of your questions so I don't miss it. I'll be reading the questions tonight. Our lovely Carrie is still not with us. She'll be hopefully here tomorrow, but we miss her. Yeah, I hate doing this without her.
Yeah, it's weird.
I know it is, but anyways, so I'll be doing double duty tonight. So each guy will be playing 3 songs and taking questions from the audience and from you guys who are the digital audience, virtual audience out there. And also, whoever's here who wants to try Steve's rig or TJ's rig after they're done playing and answering questions, they're welcome to come up here, plug into it, and play it real quick and give their thoughts. And then after all 3 of us are done, we're going to have several people from the audience here come up and sit in the chair and pick a couple of amps that they want to try and play through them.
Please, play the stuff.
Yeah, play the stuff.
We got a lot of stuff.
You don't have to twist her out.
through the real cabs, and they're going to give their thoughts on those too. So I think it's going to be kind of fun tonight. So again, so you ready? You ready to get started with some?
Sure.
Yeah. You ready? All right.
Why not?
So Steve is going to be playing through the aux box and the Obsidian. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So get those set up. And then I'm going to go ahead and mute the room mic so we don't get any feedback in here. And I'm going to turn on the studio monitors and let them tear it up. All right, so here we go with Steve Shaheen, and the name of the song is Preston Logan. You want me to wait? Somebody say wait?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right,
Someone
1
said
second.
wait. I heard wait.
Oh. All right, let me mute the room mic. We'll get started.
Let me make sure I got some sound here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh my God, it's here for Steve. Oh my God, dude, that was freaking amazing, dude.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Wow. I mean, it's like, it's ethereal, and it's like, there's so much dynamics going on, and it's like, it's almost like the end of that one was like poetic. It was like sick, dude. I mean...
Oh, the quiet one?
Yeah, that was just so cool, man. It was just freaking amazing. I mean, thanks for doing that, man. That was... Yeah, it's an honor to be sitting here tonight with all of you, and, you know, guys like this who just play their asses off and just sound amazing, so... Yeah, I mean, I wish I had a better vantage point so I could get some lessons, you know, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So explain explain yourself, explain your rig and like what you use and why and all that stuff.
Yeah, so it's really simple. It's just I got the clean channel is just it's the guitar into the compressor, and then into the clean channel, basically. And then rhythm is just guitar, overdrive, rhythm channel.
Okay.
And then the clean channel, I got some delay on there too.
Yeah.
I missed that. But and then the lead is just guitar, overdrive, and then the lead channel with delay.
Okay, what overdrive are you using tonight?
So tonight I'm using it's a JHS Bonsai. It's like the
Bonsai.
Yeah, I got it on the it's a modded tube screamer.
Modded
basically.
tube screamer.
Yes,
okay.
they're a strong mod.
Okay.
Basically, it's a tube screamer with more output. Basically.
Oh, okay. So it's a modern.
Yeah. So
probably
it's, right.
modern
So
take.
it's more drive because these are really low output pickups. And like they feel low output at least.
Yeah, I mean
reason.
I think they're like I don't know, but whatever.
Maybe they're medium.
Yeah, whatever you do, it's working. You know, I mean, like, we talk about overdrives all the time, and like you'll take an overdrive to practice, and you're like, oh, that overdrive just wasn't cutting it, you know, and then you'll take another one, you'll be like, that's the one, because once you turn the amp up,
exactly. It's weird. It depends on what setting you're in. If I'm playing with a band, then it's different overdrives work. Like I'll play at home and I'll love the precision drive and it sounds great. But then I'll take it to a band and somehow is either it's too spiky or too buried or something.
Yeah, the precision drive's great, but it does have a spike to it, and it's made for big, fat, gooey amps, and it just tightens them up and gives it that spike. But if you already have a pretty aggressive amp, it gets a little overly aggressive, especially at higher volume.
Yeah.
So you got to pick a smoother overdrive for that, you know. And sometimes that stuff doesn't matter until you're at concert level, you know, or band practice level, and that's when you're like, oh, okay. It's kind of like a car. Handles great, you know, going back and forth to work, but you get it on the track and you find out how wobbly it can get, or you know, it doesn't corner that well, you know. So you know, that's what really matters. Is that's the thing. That's why we do this, and I have different people on, because I can have people on that actually go out and battle test the gear. Like he plays live a lot more than I just play on the channel now. So like, you know, it's nice
Not
to have.
Not much, but
well, still, I mean, you play live more than I do, you know. So it's that battle tested thing that matters, you know. So yeah. So anybody here have any questions for Steve at all for like the gear he's playing or anything, whatever his favorite color is, you know?
I wanted to make a comment. I think that those pickups sound really good, despite what you may think of them yourself. I just kind of wanted to let you know that.
They sound all right out there. It's hard to tell. It's, you know, when I play them, sometimes I feel like they're a little thinner, but then I don't know. People say they sound all right in the mix, so I mean.
I think they do.
The mix is all that matters. It doesn't matter when you're playing without, because as soon as you're playing with a band or with a backing track, it's like what people hear is all that matters. Because if they don't hear something, or if it sounds muddy or to them, then it's like, then what's the point? You know, if your audience can't tell what you're playing, you know,
then it sucks. I mean, it works for you because and you're a lead player mostly, right?
Right. I suck at rhythms.
So you're not looking for that chunkiness, and
I do like. I mean, I do it for fun at home.
Fun.
You know, it's like, you know, I mean, I'll like bust out some Metallica. And, you know.
But yeah, I mean, you're mainly like what you did tonight. You're doing a lot of leads and tapping and a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah. So you need something that articulates all that stuff. You're not looking necessarily for like what I look for. I need something that's got the chunk. And
but I do like the punchiness, and even with the Omega, surprisingly the Omega is a little muddier than I would normally want. So I kind of back the gain down more than you would think, and then I drive it more from the overdrive just to get more punch.
Yeah, you find that balance.
Yeah, then I can open up the overdrive more instead of having, because, you know, if it's like a spiky overdrive, you'd be going into a muddy amp to clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
But But if I have less gain, I can open the overdrive up and do more clean drive rather.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about making it flubby because I'm already pulling the gain back and I'm pulling the bass back, so it's...
Yeah, some amps too, like when you crank the gain on them, they get really muddy as opposed to more aggressive, and it's like, what the hell,
Yeah, I would rather get the punch, really, than...
Put on my spectacles so I can read comments now. Yes.
Yeah, but the modded tube screamer that I'm using, it's like, it's a lot of push, so it's like a lot of clean drive, basically, so I can back the gain down, and it doesn't matter as much because I'm, the overdrive's doing all of it, really.
I have a question. For the Bonsai, you have like 5 or 6 overdrives, really. Circuits baked into that thing, right?
Yeah, it's like the history of all the tube screamers. It starts off with it's kind of like the 808, then the regular old school TS9 from the 80s.
The Maxon ones in there.
Yeah, Maxon's one, and like the original TS9 is awesome because it's like that rat tone. It's like that, like nobody rides for free, like that exact sound. It's like, it's cool, but I like the modded one better because it's like a little more push. I need the extra push with this guitar.
So that's a pretty versatile pedal then.
Yeah, the pedals are cool because it's like you can kind of just find the one that you like, and they're all pretty close, but they're like slightly different enough to.
Yeah. No, it's it's the thing. A lot of people think, oh, you're sniffing corks and overdrives and overdrive. Not true, man, because I got amps, up here that do not gel with certain overdrives, and I switched to another one. I'm like, oh, there it is. And it's a it's a minimal thing, but it makes a huge difference, man, especially like we were saying, like at high volumes. You're like, at the battle time, that thing's got to work, so... you're getting a lot of great compliments, by the way. Everyone's like, this dude's amazing, he shreds, and
nice,
so...
Nice. Oh, yeah, we don't have Carrie here to read the comments.
Yeah, I know, so I got to be Carrie tonight. Yeah, so...
miss you, Carrie.
Yeah, man, it's big time, because now I got to read. So, Steve Evencheck was asking, is that a Kiesel?
Yeah, Kiesel Vader 7-string multi-scale.
Okay.
And it's the Kiesel standard stock pickups, lithium pickups.
I can't wait till mine comes.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's awesome. You're getting the different pickups in there, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm getting the... What's that?
Have you put the order in actually now?
It's going to be officially in on Monday. Okay. Yep, it'll be officially in on Monday. Nice. Yep. Yeah, I can't wait, man.
Get ready to wait about 8-9 months.
I know, it's gonna be...
It's like having a baby.
It's going to be stupid. Well, I mean...
But it's worth it. It's worth it. I mean, this one, I got this, like, years ago when they were, like, just getting more popular. And
how long
still
was your wait?
I think it was probably 6-7 months.
Oh, really?
At least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still, wow. Well, they're in high demand, so...
But it was worth it because you put the little deposit down and then you have, like, all those months to save up. And so I just kept throwing a little bit of money in and I had the money by the time it was done. So.
Well, that's actually a good thing, then. Gunnerman54 is asking, Steve, what's your backup amp? Your number 2?
Probably the Stealth 100.
Yeah.
I think if I don't own it, but if I did, that would be it.
You don't have another amp right now, do you? So you just got the Omega.
I don't have one.
But if you did, it would be the Stealth?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stealth is stupid. I just think, most people come to me all the time, like every week, I get comments and questions like, hey, I'm looking for a good metal amp. What should I get? I just say, the Stealth is the biggest no-brainer amp built. I mean, it's just, if you don't like a Stealth, then you don't like metal. You just don't. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best one. I just say it's the safest, and I mean that as a great compliment. It's just the safest bet on an amp. Like, if you want a brutal, ridiculous amp, I mean, the Stealth has it all.
Easier to dial in, too.
Yeah, you set everything...
Makes it easy.
Yeah, you set everything at noon, nudge it a little bit in different directions, and all that, and then you're done. You don't have to freaking call NASA and be like, how do I, it's just stupid. It's just super easy.
And the Stealth sounds good in a band because when I play in bands, there's 2 guitar players and they're both playing metal, so it's like you got to cut through all of that. And I've definitely had amps where you just, I don't want to name names because there's certain ones you play them and you just get buried.
Yeah.
And it's like something like any of the 5150s really, like the 6505s, the original, the PVs, all those they'll cut through really well.
Yeah. I never want to show up to like a show with, a another amp and like there's another guitar player in the same band and he's got a stealth, I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah, because then everyone's gonna hear him, and no one's gonna hear you.
Exactly.
And what's the point of practicing? Like, you learn all these notes and you play them all, but if no one can hear him, they're like, he's all right.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, it looked like he was.
But
doing
if you can
some
hear
cool
the
stuff.
notes, then they're like, okay, he's good.
Yeah. So again, I'm not saying the stealth is the best amp. I just think that it's a no-brainer amp. I mean, best is all subjective.
It is one of the best.
Yeah,
I would say, but
yeah. Every time I play it, I'm like,
yeah.
so glad I own this amp. It's freaking
But
sick.
the Driftwood is good. I mean, aside from it being just so expensive.
Yeah.
The Driftwood's awesome. The Revv is awesome.
Yeah.
The JP2C is really good.
Yeah, they're all really good, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's hard to really pick a favorite, you know. Let me see if there's any other questions here. Jim Sieben, he says, oh, man, I've been sick as a dog for the last couple of days. Really bummed out I couldn't make it. Yeah, I'm sorry you couldn't make it, dude.
Man. Everybody's sick
Yeah,
lately.
it's going
crazy.
around, man.
Yeah.
There's some nasty stuff going around, but I hope you heal up, man. Sorry you couldn't make it. So Steve Venchek says, Steve, you need to try the Engl Savage if you haven't yet. Might change your mind.
Yeah, I like it. But the thing is, I don't like Engls in a band. I like them outside of a band. They sound so awesome, and just playing, at home they sound great. But for some reason, they get a little bit buried in a band.
What one did you have? Was that the Artist Edition?
I had the Artist Edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you tried the Savage in a band? I'm just wondering.
I haven't tried that one in a band, but I can kind of hear that ness. I don't know what it is about it. Like there's something, a fuzziness. That fuzziness doesn't translate, and
So are you talking a 2-guitar player band or a single guitar player band?
Single probably would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're fighting with other frequencies,
Right.
sometimes,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. If you're the only guitar player, play whatever you want. If you're just fighting a bass player, that's really easy,
Yeah, hook a paper cup and string up to your guitar, and everybody will hear that if you're the only guy. No, I get it. Let's see here.
I do love the Savage though. It is awesome.
Yeah. Yep, it is a good amp. I love it. I've always been a single guitar player band, so I never had that perspective of, I've always had keyboards to contend with, and I love playing with keyboards because when you solo over them, it's just glorious, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And you get that nice orchestric thing, it's kind of cool.
They can always do those crazy arpeggios that are impossible to do on guitar.
I know. Yeah, it makes you feel like a really good guitar player when you can solo over keyboards, Classes you up a bit. Let's see here. Oh, Shorty says Richie Faulkner makes it work. Yeah, it really depends. I think that get back to the Engl thing. If you're in a band with 2 guitar players, you have to. If you like your settings at home with your amp, you have to be open-minded to go, all right, when you get to band practice, to go, I got to make a couple changes because the frequencies that are working at home are now not competing very well with, with this guy's amp. So we got to figure out how to dial in our amps so that they complement each other. And the room
makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah, they got to complement each other as opposed to compete with each other. That's really what you got to do. I mean, Jamie's in a 2-guitar player band. I mean, he deals with that too, I mean, he just unplugs the other guy's, amp while they're playing, so he takes care of that all on its own. He's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, everybody throughout the set just kind of turns it up louder. Hey, what's that?
Exactly. So does anybody here have any other questions for Steve, or do they want to plug into his rig real quick and check it out and see what his rig's all about?
Did you have any piano training or something, the way you approach tapping? Because it's kind of like the similar type.
I did play piano when I was a little kid, but I was really bad at piano though. I mean, I was I could have gotten better if I kept playing it.
It's kind of the same concept with the tapping and stuff.
Yeah. It wasn't really that. It was more I was just watching Sarah Longfield was a good influence, and she just I think she might have had some piano. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying that.
Your brain has to think 2 different things at once. The bass, it kind of Felix.
It is kind of like that in a way. I kind of feel I'm it's you're tapping away, but it's it's more just you can play what you hear a little easier if you're tapping it. Than, you know, traditionally guitar, if you're using a pick, there are certain things that you literally just cannot play because your fingers won't go there. And so if you're tapping it, there's a couple things extra you can play. You know, you can play some extra notes that are all random, and you can't do that normally if you're picking.
So basically, suck at piano, and you can play like that.
Yes.
So anybody here want to play Steve's rig? Because we'll be playing all the different rigs later, but just in case, you know, so you can come up and play it and share your thoughts about it, or you know, I'll say this too. I ahead of time, I commend anybody that wants to come up here and play any of these amps later, because it's, you know, it's all fun and games until you sit here and look into the camera and you're like, oh, I'm live right now. And I do it twice a week, so I still freak out before we go live. My heart's pounding out of my chest. I'm sweating, and it's, you know, it's pretty nerve-wracking. But, you know, makes you remember that you're alive, too. So
yeah.
So it's all good. But, let me ask you something, too. Who, like, top 3 guitar player influences?
Oh, man. There's so many. That's a hard thing. It's,
I know,
you know,
one of
it's
them's
like,
Engl.
Yeah, Angel
Yeah,
Vivaldi
yeah.
was a huge, and I took a couple lessons from him, and that, like, I think that really got me there.
Yeah.
And that, like, because I wanted to do all the stuff, and I was like, I can't do any of it. So I did a couple lessons with him, and the lessons helped, and I still sucked, but then I kind of learned it. Like, you know, it just clicked one day.
Yeah. I think that's how, excuse me, I think that's how guitar was with me, especially tapping when I first started doing the Eddie Van Halen type tapping. It was like forever, and then all of a sudden one day I got the pattern down, and I was like, oh, you know, and then once you get it, it's like when you learn how to walk, now you can run, and you never forget how, you know, you're like, oh, I got this now, you know. But you have to literally tell yourself, like, for those of you out there that are trying to learn some difficult stuff, you literally have to just tell yourself, I'm going to suck at this for probably a month and a half.
Yeah.
I'm going to fail miserably at it, but one day I'm going to get up and nail it, and then you're going to be like, there it is, you know? And once you get to that point, you can't suck at it anymore. I mean, you'll have your days where you're, you know, and I've proven that many times on this channel, but but for the most part, you'll always have it with you. You know, it's just a matter of just keeping the dust off of it. You know.
Yeah, it took way longer than, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do all this stuff, and then like I learned it all, but I couldn't play it, and then meanwhile, you know, I sucked at it. But then like 2 years later, after 2 full years of practicing, it's like, all right, I can do it now.
Well, that's some of the stuff that you're doing right there is, well, I should say a lot of the stuff you're doing right there is pretty advanced, you know, so I could see how much dedication it would take to get there. I mean, that's a lot, especially when you work.
It's basic,
you know?
But you got to sit there for a while to, like, really, you know.
Yeah, yep, and the thing I learned from one of John Petrucci's videos is, like, you know, if you're doing a long passage and then you're struggling between, you know, like a certain part of it, like he said, just stop going for the whole thing. Just take the part you're struggling with.
Yeah.
And play that 1,000 times, and then play the part around it before and after, and then work your way back out. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, this is easy. You know, I mean, I still struggle with stuff like that, and I have to remind myself, okay, stop playing the whole solo. Get just to that part and master that, and the rest of it will, you know, come naturally.
Yeah, learn little bits and slow it down, and and you really have to. It's almost like muscle memory over being good. You do it slow and easy, and then you've done it so many times at some point that your body just does it. You don't have to think about it much, and that's the only way to play the harder stuff, because you know, there's nobody good enough that can just, you know, sit down and what's the word? Improvise.
Yeah.
Like the top stuff out there, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Nobody does it.
You really have to.
Because you'd have to practice like 12 hours a day for like 30, 40 years.
And who's got that? I'm 80 and I've finally mastered it. Yeah. I mean, what good is that, you know? JB 50 Watts here. He says, hey, what's up? I've been very busy, but I thought I'd check in now. Awesome, dude. Glad to see you here. Steve Wellhart says, sweet picking is my struggle. Now starting to get it. Yeah, I'll say this really quick. Going up, you know, the upstroke, I could do pretty good. the downstroke is where I struggle sometimes. It's that syncopation, syncing my hands together, and you literally do have to just slow down. So like before I got super busy this year, I would start out my mornings with coffee, and I would sit down here, play my mixes a bunch of times, but I would also take 10 minutes and then just go slow and sync my hands together. And eventually I got cleaner at it, you know?
Yeah.
And I kind of lost a little bit of that because I was, working so much, but I'll get it back.
Sweep picking is tough. That's probably one of the hardest things to really get, and you have to master like the turnaround. Wherever you're at when you're going one direction, turning around, you want to hop the string, and then come down that other direction. So if you're going down, you hop the string and then you start sweeping up, and if you're going up, you hop the string and then start sweeping down.
A lot of people think
it's really
easy.
hard to get that. It's like not natural at all.
No, a lot of people think it's easy because you're just doing that, and it's like, oh, well, anybody. Oh, okay, we'll sync these two hands together.
There's some people that think they can do it. They try.
Yeah.
It's like no, it's not even clean.
Well, and the other thing too is like there's more to it than just going up and down and syncing your hands together. You actually have to mute strings and put the meat of your hand, there's just so many things. That's why I say too, like practice clean a little bit to get the technique down, but once you get the technique down, turn the distortion on and get used to muting all that, because when you practice clean, you're not used to, I could just have my wrist up here and then you turn on the distortion and you're like, oh my god, why is it so noisy? It's because you didn't know that you had to mute the strings. So yeah,
you really have to slow down for sweep picking and work on the left hand. Hold the notes for the whole time. Don't let up before you're hitting the other note. Hold one note, and then when you go to the next, make sure you're switching at the same time. Because a lot of times you want to not, you're not holding them the whole way. But if it's fluid, you should almost be able to play the sweep picking without your right hand at all, almost. And
you should have enough strength, to do that. In fact, I find sometimes because of my syncopation issues that I've had, it's easier to play without the pick.
Yeah, just
you put this up here and you just, you're like, because I don't have to sync these two, and it's like, look how fancy I am, but really I'm cheating because I can't sync right.
And there's no good sweep picking lessons out there. I've watched them all, and
it's hard.
There's nothing that really covers all the intricacies. It's like it's a lot.
Definitely muscle memory with how the arpeggios go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have to memorize them for sure. You got to know them hands down to be able to play it.
It seems like everybody in the lessons always leaves out some mundane detail, Michael. And it's and it's like, like I said, the whole muting thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, why does it sound so sloppy? And then the one guy's like, that's because you're not muting properly.
Muting is harder in the beginning too, because you almost like with the fret wraps, it's almost worth putting a fret wrap on there when you're first learning.
Yeah.
And until you can memorize it, and then once you memorize the pattern really well and you really have it in your head, then you can take the fret wrap off and kind of work on getting the muting without it.
Yep, this is my training wheel.
Because at first you're gonna be so bad at playing it, it's just gonna be noise. And
I've heard bands with guitarists do that.
Gets pretty ugly.
Pick every note clearly, because if you're sweep picking and it's just mush, it sounds terrible.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah, slow it down. And
it's an interesting point that you made about putting like the fret wrap up there, because I don't even think I've ever seen any lessons that say put the fret wrap up there. So what does that do? Help with the muting?
The fret wrap will help so that the strings don't ring out. So you can play.
When you're playing solos.
It's good for studio, good for recording.
They've been doing it for years.
But it's great when you're first learning, because you're not going to play cleanly at first, and then you can put that on there to make it clean just for while you're learning. And once you learn it, then take it off and learn how to play without it, because you don't want to rely on it, because then you'll just be sloppy and you won't even know it. It is like training wheels a little bit.
I use it for the tapping stuff, when I'm doing the tapping arpeggios and stuff like that, because it does mute the strings when I'm doing that, and it does sound a little cleaner. Are there guys out there that don't need it? Yes, but I'm one of those guys that, maybe when I get around to it, I'll work on putting the meat of my hand, on those strings and muting them, but until then, I got buildings to wash.
All the tapping stuff that I originally learned it with the fret wrap on. because it was just so messy when I
Yeah.
first started. And then after I could play it, I was like, why do I have this thing on here? So I finally took it off, and then it was like a whole nother thing of, a whole nother skill to learn to play with the fret wrap off.
Yeah.
Because once everything's able to ring out, it does, obviously.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And you kind of learn how to not let it ring out after.
Well, it's kind of like one step forward, 2 steps back, right? You learn,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, wait, I take the fret wrap off, and I'm like, oh. I remember that story. I don't know if it was you who told me or if I saw it in an interview. Jason Richardson, when he learned how to sweep pick, his guitar teacher would actually play the strings with his pick behind him while he's playing this. He goes, if I hear one string ring out, that means you're doing it wrong. So Jason he's so good at muting everything with the mute of his hand that you can bang on the strings behind his fretting hand, and you won't hear anything. And but I mean, that guy's mastered the whole thing. Like,
a couple times I saw him play live, it's like he just shreds his butt off, and it's flawless and really impressive.
It's insane.
But then he talks about how he was practicing, 12 hours a day, dropping out of school, and man, who has time?
Band, he'd probably hear, what was that first note again?
Yeah, so that's what it is. If you want to get as good as Jason, then drop out of school, I mean,
live at home, let your parents pay the bills.
Exactly. If you want to get as good as Steve, then suck at piano. So let me see if there's any other questions. Let's see here.
Yeah, one day we got to do a sweep picking lesson though to really narrow it down, because there's so many little things that it's and nobody talks about those little things on YouTube. All the they're just like, oh, just do this, and it's like, and you're like, what? How?
Yeah, you're right. There's not enough detailed lessons out there. We got 47 people. We have 50. We're up to 50 people now watching the show. Thanks all for being here. Very much appreciate you guys. So I guess you're all set, sir. Yeah. Unless do you want to try a couple amps? Well, wait a minute. We'll do that afterwards.
We'll let them try amps. Yeah.
And then if you want, you can come back up and try one of those, because I'm set up for
amps here.
All this other stuff. Yeah. So, well, thanks, Steve, for doing your thing. I mean, freaking amazing.
Yeah, great job,
dude.
Thank you, guys.
Killer music, man.
Thanks,
Seriously,
dude.
I never get tired of hearing those songs. Seriously, they're so good. You're very unique. You have a really unique style, and
great sense of melody.
Yeah,
Thanks,
great melodies, very memorable. Like, I mean, you care so much about every note. I mean, I can tell there's just a lot of care and thought that went into all the stuff that you play.
Yeah, you gotta care about your notes, man.
Yeah, you gotta care about your notes.
Why play that? Why put an extra note in there? There's a lot of guys they're throwing extra notes in there, and they're just they're just notes to be notes. But if you might as well make them good if you can.
I should get a T-shirt that says "All notes matter."
And then you're gonna get canceled.
No, don't cancel me. All right, well, thanks again, Steve. Really appreciate it, dude. And TJ is up next. And
Let's plug in.
Go ahead and undo your amp here. Let me shut your amp off. There you go. And TJ is going to come up and play through his KEMPER. So we're going to have a KEMPER rig up here tonight. KEMPER rig up in the house. So we're going to do that and getting your stuff ready. What's song you starting with, TJ?
Separation.
Separation. All right. A lot of you guys are familiar with TJ. I got to watch out for his freaking guitar here. Yeah.
Good man.
Let me turn the aux box off. We don't need that up here. So TJ's playing the KEMPER, and he's going to do a couple of shredness for you. What's the name of your band?
Salvation's End.
All right, I'm going to turn off my in-ears and listen to it via. I'm going to keep them on just for a second here. I'm going to listen to it via the speakers like everybody else in the room here. All right, so are you ready, sir?
Yep.
All right, let me mute the mic. man, dude. You guys are sick, both of you, man. That's freaking awesome. That tone. So a lot of people are asking what profile you're using.
I'm using a 5153 profile.
Okay.
It's from STL Tones, and it's pushed actually with a Mesa Boogie grid slammer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is weird because you know me, I normally
Yeah.
I don't like profiles that have overdrives baked in,
Yeah.
but this one works really well. I mean,
And it's merged, right?
yeah, it's a merged profile.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
You can't disengage it if you wanted to.
No.
Okay.
It's
No.
baked in the profile. So in other words, they profile the amp with the overdrive in front of it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and KEMPER has this magic thing that it adds more gain typically when you profile amps. So sometimes it works out to your
Yeah.
favor. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, oh wow, it sounds better than the amp gain wise. You know?
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah, it can work that way. You know? Great stuff though, dude.
Thank
Freaking
you.
killer. Oh my God.
Thank
like.
you.
Yeah, a lot of people are like Nevermore.
Yep, big time.
Yeah,
Big
he's a big Nevermore fan,
Yep.
obviously. So,
Yep.
yep. So, all right. Well, let's get to the questions. There's some questions here.
Awesome.
A lot of people are saying that KEMPER sounds awesome. Lead tone cuts like a samurai. Less talk, more tone says. Daryl McMillan says TJ's killing it. Sean Casey, KEMPER
Thanks.
sounds awesome. Nice sweeps, Steve Willard says.
Thank you. I
Tanner,
used to
what
work as a janitor.
that's why his name's TJ, the janitor. Yeah, so Sean Casey, TJ's on fire. Tanner says, what profile are you using? We already did that. Okay, so, Rob Johnson says, do you need to know theory to be able to shred and create interesting leads?
That is actually a great question. So, no, you don't. However, I picked it up recently because I always find myself getting writer's block pretty easily, and I found that knowing theory actually helps break a lot of those walls when it comes to writer's blocks. If you're like
Okay.
sitting down uninspired, and you're like, okay, I got this really cool riff here, I got another riff here, how do I bridge it? Theory is a good way to dig out something that would help both those riffs kind of merge together. You
Okay.
know? You don't need to know it, obviously, to write amazing music, but it does help.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just doing two things at once here. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe if they were just asking you, but I'm here, so I'll throw in my 2 cents. I mean, I don't know any theory at all, so you know, what I do is trial and error.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, my best friend is a looper. You know.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of times I'll write down here with my amp through the aux box, like what you heard Steve play through, and I'll play the track over and over again. And with this app, I can actually take a section of the track and loop it. You know, so if I'm running into a problem with a passage where I'm trying to do a long run over either a chord or a chord change, and I want to blend it into that, I'll actually loop it and drive myself nuts trying to figure out what works. And, you know, I mean, if theory might get me there quicker, but also I find that sometimes when you're lost, you find some paths that you never would have traveled otherwise, you know, and I invent some stuff that I never would have come across by not having theory. So it's kind of like, you know...
It's a case-by-case basis, definitely.
Yeah, it really is. Like, use what works for you. I'm one of those people that, too, like, if I know the rules, I'll always question everything that I did.
Yeah.
So
Well, there are no rules in music, though. That's the idea. You know?
Yeah, it's the Eddie Van Halen school of thought. If
Yeah.
it sounds good, it is good, right?
Well, to touch up on that real quick, the first 2 songs I played tonight, I wrote those leads without any theory knowledge at all. The only one that has theory knowledge is the last one. Tonight, you know?
Okay.
And that was just, okay, how can I make this more interesting? That's all I
Okay.
did. So,
And they all sound good, so,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, yeah, I mean, everything sounds great. So, I mean, yeah, it really depends. Like TJ says, it's a case-by-case basis. Okay, so... Marty V, what's going on, man? Haven't seen you in a while. He says, nice setup for the summit. Oh, thanks, buddy. Thank you very much. Nathan Cloud says, I too play by trial. Yeah, I get it. It's fun. You know, Derek Samp says, enjoying the show, guys. Keep it up. Thank you. Appreciate that. Bobcat, how often do you have these summits? I'm in between jobs, or I would have came, man. No problem. I'll probably be doing it once a year. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'll be doing it once a year. Next year, we'll probably do it, outside of the house. You'll probably do it at Motor City or something like that. I mean, it was fun having everybody here. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but I'm hoping next year it's so big that we can't fit everybody here. So, going to Motor City would be probably better. But I've enjoyed, I will say I've very much enjoyed having everybody here. Everybody. I'm honored to have people here. Seriously, it's amazing that people showed up. I'm super grateful, So does anybody want to try the KEMPER, while we're, hooked up to the KEMPERs? Anybody want to play through it and check it out?
Not so fresh after these two guys.
Yeah, you want to be me? I got to freaking play my crap after these guys,
Let the people forget what they sounded like until
Yeah.
you start going up there and
I should have went first.
Nah, man.
I hate playing after you two because every time I'm like, well, here comes basic bitch Jarrod.
Let's see it for Petey.
Come on, why you don yourself like that?
I mean, because it's kind of true compared to these guys. I'm just kind of average,
Music's not a competition.
I know, it's not. Rob Johnson says, thank you guys for answering my question. Very insightful. Oh, you're welcome. That's what we're here for, man. That's what Tone War's all about, I want to get educated, and I want to pass on what I've learned to you guys, and every time I have people on, I learn something new. Today I'm learning how inadequate I am as a guitar player. And I'm about to prove it in a few minutes here.
Come on, we've had this talk.
Yes, we have. I need to get that Stuart Smalley mirror. I'm good enough. I shred enough. And gosh darn it, people watch my channel. So, does anybody here have any questions for the janitor?
The janitor.
Busting a broom.
I do.
So,
Of course, you played a 5153 before. This is based off the EVH, like the ivory or black, not the stealth, just the normal 5153.
Yeah, I think it's actually based off the normal 5153.
And then the grid slammer. Have you ever used that separately?
No. I actually, I was very I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this when I got it, because I'm like, I've never heard of the grid slammer before. I'm more of basic when it comes to just a Maxon OD 808 and that's it. I don't want anything else. Then I hooked into it and I played it for 12 hours just one day, because I was like, oh my god, I don't want to put the guitar down. Thank God it was a weekend. But I'm sitting there playing it and I was just like, wow, this sounds so different. I don't know why it sounds so different. It cuts a lot better, to the point to where I actually reamped with it that whole weekend. And I was like, okay, this is I don't even have to EQ much after recording with it. I just bump up a little bit of 8K and it's done. It's just so mix ready, dude. Yeah. So it's great. I've never played it though, and now I'm really tempted to buy one. I'm actually tempted to buy 6 now. Well, it makes any amp sound like this, man. Oh my god.
I have one, and you're welcome to take it home and check it out, because
really?
I hate it.
Do you?
Yes.
Really?
I hate the grid slammer. I loathe it.
Wow, that's so crazy to me. Cause
it's wimpy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hey,
Is it at your house?
If the gain staging works though, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
It sounded good.
I think most of the gain is probably from the 5150.
Oh, well, 5150s are nasty anyway.
Yeah, and maybe the grid slammer is just that much of a push to make it.
It could be, because the 5150 doesn't need a huge push, and maybe the grid slammer is good with that. But I've used it with other amps, and I'm like, what the hell?
Wow,
so sluggish. You know?
I'm the minority here. Yeah, no, I've never really played one though. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to borrow mine. I guess mine's at Jay's house. I didn't know he stole it from me. So.
Yeah, watch me come back in a week and I'll just be like, here you go, you can have this back.
What else do you have?
I'll get back to you on that.
Someone was asking. I think it was. Jim Moore was asking, who is there in person? So if everybody wants to sound off. Starting with Paul, just go around the room. Just state your name, please.
Oh. Darren. Scott. Rob. Jay.
Kevin.
Jamie.
Chicago Tad.
Brad.
Yeah. So I think we got 1 or 2 more stragglers upstairs. raiding my fridge right now. So, but yeah, we had a bunch of people show up, and it's been awesome,
I got a
man.
question for TJ.
What's up?
I have over the past few years have gone through tons of bridge pickups because we're kind of idiots like that. What qualities do you look for in your pickup combinations?
Output is probably the biggest one. Like, I have to have the output for it. So what ended up happening was I actually, because I was using Seymour Duncan's for a while, and I was using the Pegasus and Sentient, and those are great pickups, man. They sound really awesome, but it just wasn't, like, tight enough for me, and I almost had to, like, take my KEMPER and go inside and, like, turn up the sense in it or something like that.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So I called up DiMarzio, and I said, hey, what are the hottest pickups you guys have? And just like, well, 6-string or 7-string? I was like, 7-string, of course, because I'm dumb. I have to have another string.
Because I'm the janitor.
And they're like, the X2N. If you want a really good, high-quality, high-output bridge pickup, the X2N is what it is. So I got it. I threw it into my guitar. And the quality I mostly look for is just evenness for the EQ. And that's pretty much what this has. I mean, the low end was really full. The high end is there to where it doesn't, like, get lost in a mix. And I'm kind of, like, old school, so I don't mind the mids being cut a little bit. Obviously, no mids is bad. But,
Yeah.
Just a little bit scooped in the mids, and that's pretty much what this pickup is. So I was like, this is perfect for me. So every amp I plug into, which I was fortunate enough to plug into a lot of these that you have, Jarrod, the pickup is exactly the same. Actually, I impressed him so much with the pickup, he actually thought about getting one.
Yeah, it's actually a really good pickup. And the thing is like, there's all these guys out there, these purists and stuff that are like, well, you shouldn't need an overdrive, or you shouldn't need that much gain to be able to play well. And it's like, you're one of the best players I know, and like, you use an overdrive, and you use a healthy amount of gain, and you have high output pickups. Now, what does that do for you, as opposed to, like, let's say you went the purist route and said, oh, I'll turn off the overdrive pedal, turn the gain down, and use some medium output pickups. What would that do for your playing?
To be honest with you, it would kind of hinder my playing quite a bit, just because, like.
But is that your fault? Is it because you need to practice more and you just suck, or is it because? No, and I'm challenging you because I'm being like this ridiculous, like, purist idiot who says stuff like this, and I want to hear what you have to say about that.
Everybody's different.
Exactly.
Sure.
Everybody's different.
But I mean, you're playing what you're playing, and you're playing it well. I think that all of those things that you add, that you utilize, you're wielding that stuff, and you're a light picker.
Very light.
Yeah, so you can't play fast and hard at the same time. It just doesn't work,
I can, at least. I mean, I'm sure there are some people out there who can. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, you're either you're a power player or you're a speed player. I mean, it's very rare when you find the guy that can do both.
Yeah.
But usually when you go fast, you're giving up a little bit of power, and that overdrive and that little extra gain kind of lets you play quicker, and it lets the notes jump off the fretboard,
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's really nuts, though, is I was an EMG guy forever. Like, that's all I played was EMGs. And
So was I.
I don't understand how this is possible, but these pickups are hotter than EMGs. And these are passives. I don't understand it at all.
They are really hot.
Yeah, but
they sound nasty through the amps and the cabs too.
Well, and it's great because the neck pickup, it's a deactivator neck pickup, and it's not as hot as the bridge, obviously. So I still get that pristine clean whenever I'm doing like chords or something.
Yeah.
Through my clean channel. I would never play the bridge pickup with clean. It's just, you're not gonna get anything really super usable out of it. But
yeah. So any other questions from?
Hey TJ, what have you done to boost your theory?
I've taken lessons. Actually, I've been taking lessons for up until recently, for like the last 2 or 3 years. No, actually the last 2 years, with Chris Broderick from Megadeth and a couple of other bands he was in. Active Defiance, he's in Flames now. He really helped out a lot with that. Kind of doing exercises on scale patterns and everything. I mean, obviously you do the basic, like, major scales, minor scales, getting it down. But what he showed me, which really helped a lot, especially with this lead for that last song, was taking a crazy riff, like, it's like, okay, well, how am I going to find a melody under that? Especially with the drums going crazy. So what I did is I broke it down into chords. And, it's E major, D minor, G diminished, F major, or F minor, sorry. And I just took those chords and I wrote around it. So I started with the harmonic minor on that one, which is more the Phrygian dominant. D minor, I go to D harmonic minor there. And I do G diminished for that, and then F melodic minor for the next bit. And that's just how I wrote the lead.
That's interesting. So you dissected it with chords and found, okay.
Yeah, so when I did that, it's funny because a lot of people are like, okay, well, this is what the key it's in, so it has to be in that key. You don't have to do that, though. The beauty of it is you can actually play outside of the key as long as, you're hitting the proper chords or whatever you want to call it. The chords are matching.
So if you know what chords then you know what to, okay.
And that kind of unlocked a lot in my head. I'm like, whoa, oh my God. Yep, so.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
JB50 Watt says, what kind of shapes does TJ use for sweep picking, and what arpeggios do you usually go for?
Ooh, that is a great question. So pretty much the sweeps that I use is, like the natural minor, and then I use the major one every now and then.
You got that Hungarian thing going on.
I love Hungarian minor.
Yeah.
But now forgive me because I'm not like super into theory yet to where I know the terms. But I think it's first inversion minor and then second inversion minor.
Okay.
One I'd really like to get into are like those crazy diminished sweeps. I just haven't found a spot for it in my song yet, which is more like a that, it's
that's
very
more
dark
like a release kind of chord or thing. Sounds like something you would end on or circle back to or whatever. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Somebody else had a question. How many, George Silveria, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, how many hour practice per day?
Okay, so when I was starting out, I was playing probably 10 hours a day. Like, I had nothing better to do with my time. I mean, I was like 16, 17 years old. Didn't have a girlfriend at all. I didn't have any friends. I just played. I missed out on a lot though because of that.
Yeah.
I really did, because I had like family get-togethers that I didn't go to because I was too busy, plucking away at the guitar. Nowadays though, I still practice a lot, probably like good 4 or 5 hours a day. You know?
I'm jealous. I can't wait to get back to doing that myself. Yeah. So I think like 2 hours like is a good, like what I found when I was like able to practice mostly, like a 2 hour hard like blood, sweat and tears practice session for me was enough to at least keep me from falling backwards and progress me a little bit. So 4 probably sounds about right if you want to get like you're at your level. So
I mean that's just all I do really at this point. I'll go to work every now and then and I'll just sit down and play. That's all I do. I mean,
it's fun though.
It is, but my whole goal is to be a career musician one day. So that's what I'm working towards. But if you really want to like start to develop techniques, I mean, an hour a day, just scheduled each day goes a long way. It really does.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. Yeah. And you know what? Practice is fun. I like it. I love practicing to my backing tracks. I freaking look forward to coming down here and firing them up and going to town on them. I think it's amazing. So, one last question here. Rob Johnson says, "What are your thoughts on the Victory VX Super Kraken versus the Orange Rocker Verb?" I don't know. Maybe he's asking me because I did shoot him out.
Probably. Because I've never played those amps before. You know what? I can answer this for you, Jarrod.
Okay.
They're both adequate.
They're both adequate.
Can you do that in the Arnold voice?
You want me to do it in the Arnold voice? I think they're both very good. They're very, very good amplifiers. I slightly prefer the Kraken because it has more gain. I like the gain structure, and the Kraken is more saturated. With the orange, it's a little drier, and it's got the really cool mid hump to it. But I'd like more aggression and saturation with the Kraken. I only wish the Kraken was a little brighter, though. If it's a little brighter, it'd be very good. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on that. And Jeff Cornell's here. Hello, Jeff. He says hello to everybody. Good to see you here, buddy. All right. So, is there any other questions here from the awesome folks in the his house?
You play the acoustic guitar on the KEMPER?
Yeah, I have an acoustic simulator on the KEMPER, and it's awesome. I can definitely play it. For
Yeah,
them if
you can
wanna hear it.
demo it. Let me mute the mic and turn the speakers back on here. 1 second.
Yeah, it's
That's cool, man.
It's killer, dude. It sounds.
That does sound really
gorgeous.
good. It's
Yeah.
got like almost a nylon strung
Mhm.
/ acoustic kind of vibe going on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, dude, it's insane too because the last show that I played at the Diesel with Halloween, we did an acoustic set in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and I was using a different guitar, obviously, because I don't want to mix transposing with a clean guitar, you know. So I was using a different guitar, which is all mahogany, so it's a little bassier. And I did that with the neck pickup, and I'm like, okay, this sounds okay, but it was really boomy.
Mhm.
So what I did is I split the coil, and it was perfect. Dude.
Oh,
It
yeah.
sounded amazing.
Split coil's the way I go for cleans anyway. So
Yeah.
So it does matter what pickup you like. What pickup, and if you split it, it changes the tonality of the
Yeah.
simulator.
Yep. So with this one, because this is an ash body, so it's a little bit of a brighter wood.
Yeah.
All I have to do is switch to the neck pickup, and it sounds great.
Okay.
But the other guitar, I had to split the coil to make it sound
Okay.
really awesome.
That sounds really good, though. That's the first time I've heard the acoustic simulator. I haven't
really?
heard it yet. Yeah, I've never heard it yet.
I
Yeah.
thought tone woods didn't mean nothing.
Oh yeah, tone woods don't mean nothing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. My bad.
Did you say that you did you say you played with Halloween?
Mhm.
The band Halloween?
Yep.
No shit.
Yeah.
One
Yep.
of my faves.
I'm sorry.
One of my favorites.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I joined them back in 2012, and then I left for a little bit
Wait a
in
minute.
2018.
You played in Halloween?
Mhm.
Did you really?
Mhm.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I went out Halloween?
Yep.
No shit.
His brain just exploded.
His brain exploded. Yep, EJ's been around, man. He's been
Yeah.
around, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, so I think that. Let me make sure. Don't want to.
Yep. I'm good to unplug this here.
Not yet.
Okay,
Let
not
me
yet.
mute. Let me mute your Kemper, and then you can unplug. Okay, go ahead. All right, so I'm gonna do. Where are we on time? 8:31.
I think I'm gonna have you sign my guitar.
I'm just going to do a couple quick mixes, and then we're going to go around the room and let everybody try the amps. I'm just going to do a couple quickies because I think these guys covered a lot of great ground tonight with all of the music and the shreds.
I'm quitting.
Yeah, you guys, you know, I play every week on here, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to do a couple quickies, and let me see here. I'll just stick with my simpler stuff tonight. And have people come up and try the amps, because this is all about you guys, not me, you know. So let me just do a couple, and we'll get it done. I'm going to turn off my in-ears here. And I'm going to mute. I'm going to do Gravedigger for you. All right, let me get I'm playing the Revv tonight, so let me get that fired up, and let's get her going. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, let me get my in-ears back in. Normally I do this while the other guy's playing, but I gotta do it now. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. I forgot to hook my stuff back up after Steve got done playing. That's what happens sometimes. Make sure I got the right ones here. Wrong side. Alright, so what you heard there obviously was the Revv, and it was direct through the Revv 2 notes torpedo stuff. So it actually sounds really good. I think they picked a really good cab sim for that, and I like it. It's the first one on there, so they did a really good job on that. I love this amp. It's a lot of fun to play. I got it all programmed via MIDI, and it just sounds incredible. So I'm gonna mute those outputs now, so that if we play it through the cab, you don't get that phasing. But okay, so what we're gonna do now is switch to the real cabs and play all the amps through those. I'm going to answer a couple questions first, if there are any, and then we're going to go ahead and get started on the cabs and amps playthroughs and thoughts, and then we'll call it a night. We got several people that want to do that, and yes, Gunnerman, that is the purple channel for the rhythm and the red channel for the leads. That's what I used it for. So thanks, Ryan. He says, epic show today. Appreciate that, man. Thanks, Sean Casey and JB. I really appreciate that. People are digging Night Terrors. Yeah, it's that's one of my more challenging ones to play, but I do love to play it. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so without further ado, who wants to come up first and sit in the hot seat here next to moi and play through a few amps and share their thoughts?
We're all scared after this.
Oh, come on, Trevino. Come on, dude. You guys know, I knew Jamie would come up here.
Hi.
Hi. Here, use my wireless. Thanks for saving my ass there.
That's what I do. That's what I do, man. So I get paid the big bucks. Seriously,
I'm like
something goes wrong during a gig for us, and it's like they all look at me, and I'm like, all right, and it's crazy, man.
I'm like, what the hell happened here? Oh. Well, you know, I was bound to screw something up tonight because I've been doing 1,000 things. Okay, so why don't you give me a list of amps? Well, let's start with your first pick that you would like to play.
The Driftwood.
Of course. Dude, the Driftwood is nasty. That amp is so freaking nasty. You do not want to take that one home to your mama. She will disown you. So let me turn off the Revv. Yeah, that amp is just evil. Evil. Alright, so we're going to go with the Mesa cab. And, alright, so let me mute the room mic and get this started. Let me make sure I got that right there. Alright, so here we go.
Punchy?
Yeah, you like it?
I like that.
That's a nasty freaking amp, dude.
Have some reverb or something?
Oh yeah, well I got delay and reverb for leads. You want that?
Yeah.
All right, so let me hook you up to that. You like that one?
Yeah, I like the pick attack on it.
Yeah, it's dry, but it's super responsive and brutal. Mm-hmm. It just brings the brutes big
I could
time.
see that with like the Hull reverb patch.
Oh
the
yeah,
HELIX.
Yeah, that would be
with the
freaking
reflections
huge.
turned down.
Yeah, it'd just be nasty. Yeah. Yeah, it's a killer amp. It's pretty dry, but it's I think Chris, when we were here dialing him in last night, he said it feels like it's in what you said. What did you say? It's in a big frame and it's trying to punch its way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there. Doesn't that sound huge out there? It just freaking knocks your head off, man. Yeah, it's just such a great amp. I think it's probably that and the EVH are. I would say that the Driftwood has the most texture out of any amp in the room. It's just super. It's like Braille sound. It's ridiculous. So the Mezzabarba, Mezzabarba, pizza. All right, man. All right, 1 second. Let me mute the room mic here. What do you think of that?
I like it. Yeah, I like the flavor of this one a lot more. It's rounder on top.
Yeah, it's a little rounder. You like the Marshall-y type stuff, so
yeah, I'd probably use this for sure.
It's got that nice mid push, and
this is channel 3 though.
Yeah, it's channel 3, and then I put the boost on, which it's a gain boost a little bit. It's not a boost like a pedal boost, and then the effects loop. So I kind of grew it up as you were playing it, so I can switch to channel 2. And you can play that if you want, and that's like the rhythm channel.
Does this have a resonance and a presence control, or is
in the back? Yeah, I can't reach them right now.
No.
And it's got a negative feedback though.
Put it on the front.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they did it for size reasons.
Those are two of the most powerful controls you can have on an amplifier. Is a presence and a resonance control.
I wish it.
And if it doesn't, I'm not very happy.
Yeah, I wish it had it on the front, but the thing is though, is like, I have to finish dialing in this amp. I have it dialed in pretty good, I think, but the negative feedback's very important too, because you get that bite. It gives you that awesome bite. It makes it more aggressive, but that amp is sick. I mean, it's really, and it's beautiful. You should see the gut shots on these. You ever seen the gut shots on them?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to turn the boost off first.
Yeah, turn the boost off. And then, all right, so this is channel 2. All right, 1 second.
That's like my perfect gain staging right there.
Yeah,
I'd say.
okay.
What are you using for the overdrive on this?
We're using the Mud Killer. The Mud Killer. You want to switch to the precision drive?
No,
for
that's
it, or?
fine.
No?
I like the gain.
It's a good pedal.
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is my pick.
Yeah. Okay. You want to try something else? You got one more pick if you want it, sucker.
EVH Stealth. Oh, or
if you want Stealth, I mean, I'm happy to oblige you.
Stealth Blue.
Stealth Blue. All right, you're my boy, Blue. All right, 1 second.
Yeah, it feels very
issues tonight.
Feels very similar to this Mesa.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blue in terms of how much gas it's got.
Yeah.
Under the pedal.
I think it's gnarlier. It's got at least with my pickups, like between, like when I play the Mezzabarba, it's smoother on top. When I play the EVH Stealth Blue Channel, it's got more aggression.
Something I worry about, like this is a passive guitar, and like this
is passive.
It's passive with preamp and stuff.
Well, the preamp only engages if you turn it on.
Oh,
yeah,
right on.
Yep. So
yeah, that's something I worry about, like with other people's pedal boards and like 4-cable method and stuff. Is like, is it going to choke out my guitar? Right. If somebody's playing through like if they play active guitars.
It also depends on the gates. Yeah, because there's times like have the gates set real high.
Yeah, I'm definitely not fighting it though. So like there's more than enough gas in the tank.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's a nasty freaking amp, man.
Yeah, both of those.
Yeah.
Those are.
That's what I mean. Like the Stealth is like, to me, that's like a no-brainer. Like I said, anytime somebody, I seriously every other day almost like, hey, I'm looking for a good metal amp. Just go get a freaking Stealth, man. If you don't like a Stealth, you don't like metal. I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, it's just freaking no-brainer amplifier. I really don't know how anybody couldn't like the Stealth. And I'm not shilling for the Stealth. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best amp. I just think it's just such an easy pick.
Yeah, it's a solid amp. It's versatile, and
they're abundant too. It's like, I mean, they're usually available for like a backline or something these days.
Yeah. Yep.
They're out there. All right, thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Next. Do I
Come
get to
on.
volunteer the next guy?
Huh?
Do I get to volunteer the next guy?
Yeah, you get to volunteer the next guy.
Who's far away? Who drove as far as? Let's go.
You can plug the beer into the amp.
After I have a few beers, maybe.
It's a little nerve-wracking.
Who wants to come up next?
I'll give her a whirl.
Time's a ticking.
We got Darren Moore coming.
All right, Darren Moore is coming up here. Darren Moore is definitely going to play the Stealth because he's Mr. EVH. In fact, Darren Moore is the guy who let me use his EL34 to shoot out against my Stealth. So this is the guy that's responsible for that. So pick a couple amps, sir. You want to start with the Stealth?
Yeah, I'll start in the comfort zone.
That's what I figured. Is that on? Yeah, you got to turn it on, but go ahead.
Let me plug it in first before
It's kind of a cool color. I like that.
Pearl pink, apparently.
Pearl pink. That's
whatever the hell that is.
I'm not usually much of a pink guy, but that looks pretty freaking cool.
I'm not either, but they only offer it in 2 colors, and I don't like green.
Oh, I see.
Not that much, anyway.
Yeah. All right, you ready, sir?
Let's
mute the mic and get going. So what do you think of that?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
It's so different, like with his pickups than yours. You got what pickups are you using, Jamie?
Mine are like 14.3K. They're the joke tones. And
okay.
I just recently switched back to Duncan though.
Yeah, this is the distortion or whatever they call
it. That just like I think that pairs well. I mean, you heard more aggression out of the Stealth with that. That was like more metal-y. What you had going on was more like a classic rock kind of vibe. It's kind of woody.
I was on position 2, which splits.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say he was playing more.
Okay. Yeah, it sounded good. I'm just saying there was a difference. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he was playing more like that.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So what's the next one you wanna?
I kind of want to try the Mezzabarba too because it was similar. Kind of seems
we can do that.
I could like that amp.
We could do that. All right, here we go with the Mezzabarba.
That was meaty as hell.
Yeah, that was channel 3 on that last part there. Sorry, my batteries died in my pack, and I was like, I lost sound.
Thankfully, I didn't play like too much crap right there.
No,
so.
I was like, I threw him under the bus. I'm like, keep playing. My batteries died. Yeah, what do you think of that?
I could see that being an amp I own one of these days. Yeah, that was, like Jamie said, it's very charactered. Like it's got like a different sound. I'm so used to the EVH line that I kind of knew that was going to happen. So I'm like, okay, that sounds really good. But that does have like its own.
It's got its own thing.
Meaty characteristic, at least the way I was.
Yep.
Half-assing it here, so.
no, it sounds good. I think with the EVH, you hear more of the amp. With the Mezzabarba, you hear more of the guitar.
Yeah, I kind of felt like, like you said, that does seem to be a little more aggressive.
Oh,
the EVH is a little more aggressive.
Yeah, it's nasty. You know,
but that had a really nice rhythm feel to it. I really like that.
Does it feel percussive to you?
Yes, like it's percussive. That's exactly it. Very percussive.
Yeah. I think the lead tone on the Mezzabarba is very pleasant. And it's just got a great milky kind of thing to it, where there's no sting to the notes. They're just really smooth and just glorious. You know, I just really like that amp a lot. You can hear the quality in that amp. I mean, these things are built meticulously, you know, and they just sound great. You know, takes a boost well. My biggest concern when I got it was like, is the crunch channel going to work for me? Because I'm a gainiac, you know, and it does. It totally works for me. It's got plenty of gain and it sounds amazing. So
yeah, and I'm like Jamie. I don't require as much gain as some of the metal people here, like the prog rock people or prog metal. So that's more than enough. That's got gas and then some.
Yeah, it really depends. Like I've had Jamie over here before. And I've played my riffs through his rig, and his rig, it's weird. Like, I can't make his rig sound as good as he can make it sound, because his riffs are more fitting to his rig than what my riffs sound out of place, you know? So it's funny, like, there's times when, you know, that's why Friedman amps have never worked for me, and it's not because they're not good. A lot of people make them sound good. Every time I hear somebody play through a Friedman, I'm like, I got to go try one of those. And then I play through it, and I'm like, why doesn't this work for me? It's because my riffs don't match what the Friedman does. But it matches what the person so I think that a lot of gear demos are, you know, I'm not saying that they're you know, false or whatever, but you got to remember that what style of music is this guy playing through this freaking amp? Because that is, in part, what makes that amp sound good. You know, so
and you can see that right here, because I don't play what you play. You used to play what I play.
Yeah, when I was your age, yep.
What works for you, like where you're like, I need it to be at the top all the time. I'm like, it can be a little bit different and not be.
I'm all about the brutes. You know, I want something that's gonna mow people down. I want something that's gonna. It's like a wrecking ball. You know, when I play, and I love it. But I play wrecking ball type riffs. You know, so I need something that's going to be that sledgehammer. You know,
it's not hooked up, but I brought over this Spawn click rod that I bought.
Oh, cool!
And it wasn't your cup of tea, and you thought Spawn would never be your thing because you thought, oh, they must all be like that Marshall-y.
But
But the nitro was much more and you love it.
It's
I'm
more
glad you
compressed.
did.
Yeah,
so
it's more compressed.
I wish it was hooked
thicker.
up. I wouldn't mind playing that. But
yeah, it was a tough
another
decision.
time.
It was a tough
I
decision.
I told him I wanted it hooked up.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was one, but it's okay.
Yeah. Well, it was either that or the Mezzabarba, and I figured since the Mezzabarba is so freaking expensive, it's a unicorn that people would want to.
Yeah, that's why I kind of chose it.
Yeah.
You don't see them at all.
I knew it. I was like, I'll hook up the Mezzabarba because how often do you get a chance to
play it?
Yeah.
See
so, no disrespect to the Splon. It's amazing. But,
yeah, oh God, yeah. I love mine. I guess I get one more, eh?
Pick another one.
What would be an awkward one?
Probably the Savage.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I bet you the Savage would be kind of awkward for you. Let's see if Darren likes the Savage. All right, 1 second here.
That was fun.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
A gnarly amp.
Probably my least favorite one though, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
It's I turned the contour off during that part when I got up just to see what that would sound like for what you're doing there. But
I was gonna say it did change. I was like, what
yeah,
was that?
Yeah, you turned it's a mid hump.
Okay.
I
was like,
yeah. So it depends, and then you attenuate with the volume because the contour takes the mids down, or when you turn it off, it takes the mids down and lets the highs come through. But then you got to attenuate the mids a little bit and the volume to make up for it. But just wanted to give you a quick perspective on that. But
I can see why though. It's like a controversial amp. Like it's not.
Oh, it's definitely got its own thing.
Someone's gonna love it. Some people are gonna hate it.
Yep.
I didn't hate it, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, but if you're a metal guy, Engl's definitely more in your territory.
Oh, I know.
And,
someone mentioned Richie Faulkner earlier or something like that. Yep. I can see why.
Yep, they're great amps. It just, again, it goes back to, it's all about the riffs.
Yeah.
If your riffs work really good with an amp, then it's going to be amazing, But if they don't, it's not really the amp's fault, and it's not your fault. It's just, sorry, nice meeting you, but we're going Dutch.
Yep. All right.
So
thank you. That was awesome.
Hey, you're welcome, dude. Thank you. Who's next?
Sorry if I suck, YouTube.
All right, we got a couple more minutes here, and then we got to head over to the pub. Yeah. So we got Kevin here.
Hello.
Is our next victim? Is there anybody else after Kevin? All right, one more. Where shall I put this guy? You can just put it on the seat behind you and clip it onto your.
I'm local, so I don't.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, your pocket. I want to turn it on too. What amp would you like to start with?
I would like to start with. How do I turn this thing on?
Oh, there's a switch on the top. There you go.
Look at that.
You're good.
Let's start with the Purple Nightmare because I like the name.
That amp is stupid. All right,
now
here we go.
This is going to be all chugs because I don't do
That's
solos.
fine, dude.
So.
Do all the chugs you want. All right, here we go. What was that? You like it?
I'm in drop C.
You like it?
Yeah, it's the bass is it's got huge balls.
Oh, it's huge. It's a wrecking
huge
ball,
balls,
man.
but it's nice and tight.
Yeah.
And there's no fizz. I mean, it's.
Oh, there's a sizzle switch on there.
Nice and clean.
So the cool thing about this amp, the secret weapon. I'll go ahead and play again, and I'll turn the sizzle switch off. There's 3 positions. There's off, position 1, position 2, and as soon as you get to position 2, or position 3,
Alrighty.
whatever, it's freaking insane. One
Alrighty.
second. Yeah, that's nasty. So you can tell, you can hear the stages, right, of the sizzle switch?
Yeah. Meh.
You can't hear the stages of the sizzle switch?
I could hear them.
Yeah,
but
I was
going to
say, damn.
Yeah, it's a little more apparent out here.
It's probably more apparent.
Yeah.
Like with my guitar, I could hear it perfectly. Your guitar, what pickups is that? Are those?
That I got a rail hammer chisel.
Okay.
Which is it's got a pretty fat mid hump.
Yeah, I can hear a metallic.
13, about 13 and 13.5K output.
Yeah.
Really tight bass and really like kind of fat warm
Gotcha.
on the higher strings.
So you would
really
probably
like it.
you'd probably dial this in a little different than I have it for my pickups, because yours there's like a metallic top end to yours. It's a little different. That's what I'm noticing.
What boost you got going on?
The Mud Killer.
Okay.
Yep, that's a good boost. It's similar to the Precision Drive, except it doesn't have that spike.
Yeah, I use a. We were talking. I told you I'm using that Digitech Bad Monkey.
Oh yeah.
Where I can. It's like a tube screamer where you can dial in more ass. And
Yep.
It's just.
Yeah, it's very very different.
I love it.
Hell yeah, man. So what's the next one you want to do?
Let's try the Stealth.
Okay. All right. Turn this off. this on. All right, 1 second.
I wonder if that's the pickup because there's a lot of high end.
I'm hearing with that pickup I'm hearing a lot of, there's something going on. It almost sounds like your strings are hitting the pickup, but I know they're not. There's like I wouldn't say it's like a metallic. What are you guys hearing that? I don't know if it's a metallic top end.
You're not thinking like an out of phase type of.
No, it's just it sounds really scrapey. Out of this one, it sounds really scrapey. I didn't hear it so much with the.
You got presence doesn't do much on this amp until you get to 2 o'clock, so it's not that. And the highs are I can turn. Let me dial this in for your pickups. Let me see if that fixes it. 1 second. You're not feeling that one at all?
Nope.
Hey man, it's not for everybody.
It's like I don't know. It's really dry. You know.
Well, it's definitely. I'll tell you what. Let me turn this off. It's not the driest amp I have, but it's dry. But I think it's got great saturation. A lot of it has to do with the pickups. You know, if you got some pickups just don't gel with certain amps. You change pickups,
right.
and all of a sudden your amp's like, oh, well, there it is. And I'm not saying you have the wrong pickups. It's just
no. I get that.
It's they just sometimes don't.
I mean,
gel,
this thing
with
the rig with the rig I normally play, like this and that boost and
works.
that head.
Well, it's a perfect example of, I want to sound like so-and-so, just buy his amp. It's like, no, you got to buy his guitar, his pickups, like there's so many things. And
what's that?
Well, just asking, what amp do you use now?
I got the 60 watt Laney Ironheart.
Okay.
Yep. So that's, and that amp's a little less aggressive. So with those pickups, it probably blends better with that amplifier. You know.
Yeah, I mean compared to this, the Laney is just it's a lot fatter.
Yeah, it's a little rounder. Yeah, exactly. So I get it. You know, it all comes down to pickups, everything. So what's the next one?
Well, TJ seems to think that I'll like the Savage, so let's give that one a shot.
All right, let's do the Savage.
That fit really well.
Yep, there's not a better amp on this shelf than the Savage for you because.
You mean I could take the diesel home?
Yeah, that one's just like that one's got teeth, man.
Oh yeah, and the thing is see, this is the perfect example of pickups and amp blending together and being a great pair. His pickups in my opinion, did not like the Stealth at all.
No,
there was like this weird top end like metallic thing going on.
It was very spiky and
Yeah,
scratchy.
it was weird. As soon as you got to the Engl, that rich like saturation and that mid hump in the contour just completely, I don't know, just gelled with that perfect. Suddenly it was like that noise was gone.
Yeah.
Now it was like that just works. So it really does come down to pickups and amp configuration.
Stars have to align.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not always the amp. It's like, you know, sometimes people get a new amp and they're like, oh, it doesn't work. Well, maybe it's your pickup. Or you get a new pickup and now your amp sounds like crap. Well, go get your other pickups. Because I've done that. I actually made the mistake of getting the George Lynch Screamin' Demon. Oh!
Yeah, it ain't what you think.
Dude, that thing sounded so shrill and just awful. I was like, you have got to. It was all high end. There's no lows, no mids. It's all like 10K and above. And I'm like, what the? I don't care what the thing says. That thing's 10K and up, and that's it. Because it sounded like pure ass when I was playing it. So, and it sucked because I had it installed. The guy's like, yeah, can't take it back. You had it installed. I'm like, all right, well, you can put it somewhere.
Sells some sucker on eBay.
This is years ago, but I was like, yeah, the George Lynch Screamin' Demon, that's going to be amazing. And literally, I thought there was something wrong with my amp. I'm like, what the hell happened to my amp? But it was the pickup, you know. So you got, is that 3?
That's 3.
All right, so which one did you like the best?
I think, well, here's the thing. I think the Purple Nightmare sounded the best, like sounded the fullest.
Okay.
It was sick. It's a very rich and very full amp, but for my purposes, the Savage.
Yeah, the Savage was stupid for you, man.
Yeah.
Let's go back and forth real quick.
All right.
Between the Purple Nightmare and the Savage. Just play the same riff over and over again.
Okay.
And I'll switch back and forth for you. Yeah, it's okay. No, I switched. Yeah, Savage is definitely.
I could definitely hear the difference between the two.
Yeah.
My Ironheart is much closer to the Driftwood than it is the Savage.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think
as far as it's just has a really full, really fat kind of.
Yeah.
Like all the entire frequency range is fat, and there's just no fizz to it.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Savage is definitely in my. I don't know what you guys thought out there, but in here, Savage is definitely it, man. Just stupid.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
well, it's 9:18. We got to get over to the pub. Rob, you want to do a quick one? All right. Rob's going to come up do a quick one. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
No problem, man. And we're going to meet Carrie over at the pub there. So we'll be on for about a couple more minutes, and we're going to call it a night. So, Rob, you got... which one do you want to pick, Rob? We got time for 1 amp.
You got the Archon?
Yeah. I got the Archon. So let's turn off the Engl. Pick the Archon. All right. Let me mute the mic, and let's tear it up, man.
Liking that one.
You're not liking it? No? Okay.
Shrill City.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, if that's shrill, I mean,
what
all right.
about the Revv?
All right, one more real quick.
got a ground problem.
Yeah, I think
No, I might have one on the
You know, we've been dealing with it all night.
Right on.
So, what do you think?
Oh, the Revv, way better.
Yeah, you like the Revv better? It's a little darker. The Archon's pretty dark, but the Rev's just, I don't know, there's something just really fat and beefy about it.
It may be where I'm hanging out in front of your cab because the Greenwich 30 is really piercing. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, the Revv is a great amp, you know. So it definitely goes down to pickups. What kind of pickups do you have? You know,
these are bare knuckle.
Okay.
Holy diver.
Okay, the bare knuckles. Okay. Yeah, so it really comes down to pickups a lot of times with these amps, you know, and that's why I'm glad to have you guys on here, because it's not just my pickups and my opinions. It's other guys' guitars, pickups, and opinions as well. So, well, hopefully everybody had a good time watching. Jason Taylor, thank you so much for the super chat. No problem, man. Thank you. He says, unfortunately, I got here quite late, but great to see you rocking out the summit. Congrats to all the guys who actually made it here. Thanks, awesome. Thanks, Jason. I really appreciate that very much. Well, anyways, thank you guys very much thank you all here for joining us. Very much appreciate you guys. And thank you all for watching us out in YouTube land. Thank you so much. And Carrie and I will be live tomorrow night at 7, and we'll do a recap and a hang, so can't wait to do that. Well, God bless you guys. Like I always say, every day's a gift, and thank you so much for spending part of yours with me and the rest of us here. And we will see you all soon.